Hi, I'm Paul. For this video, I think we're going to talk about emotions. So, what are emotions? So, I suppose to first start this off, we could say, is it possible to have an emotion without a thought, without an image? So, we can say that there are emotions and there are feelings. What's the difference? So, let's just say I'm sat on a chair, which I am. And I could feel the chair on my back. You see, that would be a feeling, sensation. But then in my head, I come up with a thought. I shouldn't be sitting here because I should be washing the pots. Now I feel guilty. And guilt is the emotion. So you see, how this started off was a feeling, a sensation. Then in my mind, I created a thought and an image. And then the emotion arose. We could look at this maybe when we're watching a film. And let's say it's a romantic film or just has a happy ending. And then we feel emotional. What happens? We're watching a film, it has a happy ending, we feel a sensation. And then in our mind, then we might say, I wish this could happen to me, or I wish this is the way it was. I want that. And then we create an image, turning it into ourself. And then we have the emotion, we feel the emotion, we feel perhaps a rush. Perhaps we cry, perhaps we laugh. So the question is it possible to have an emotion without a thought? And it doesn't seem like we can. So emotions come from the creating a thought and an image of ourself, which is just something we can grab onto with our psychological thought to take us in a direction of something more positive, or maybe something more negative, but just to take us in a direction. Perhaps the direction away from ourselves or our normal thinking. I've spoken in some other videos about the unconscious mind. And I've suggested that the unconscious mind isn't really a thing, but something we created by suppressing past memories or thoughts. It seems to keep these memories and thoughts suppressed. We have to keep the mind working in a forwards direction. Sometimes we have bad thoughts, and this continues into more bad thoughts. But then we want to try and cling on to more positive thoughts, which takes us in a spiral of more positive thoughts. Sometimes these thoughts create images and then create emotions. But you see, emotions, if they're created from first having a sensation, so we need some input from the environment, then a sensation, and then we turn that sensation into an image or a thought or both, which this image and thought is in my head of me that I created. So then we can say really that emotions are actually quite selfish or self-centered within me, my image and my thoughts. So if emotions is creating an image and becoming focused on the image that I create, is there something that is actually real instead of emotions? Some way of connecting to another person? Well, I think that would be feeling and sensation. But then, instead of continuing the sensation into an image, just ending it at that point, just staying with the sensation. You see, if I see somebody else and I say that I know of this person, or this is somebody who's close to you and you say you know this person, anything that you could come up with would be memory, thoughts, ideas. And these thoughts and memories and ideas belong to you. So by the act of actually knowing somebody, you're actually knowing yourself. So to see another person, you would have to not have these thoughts or images. Or perhaps you could have the thoughts and images, but there's no need to project them onto another person. So just stop them there when they arise. And I think this is the same with feelings and emotion. If you want to see the real thing, the apple, not the word apple, then it must be seen as it is, without having to create thoughts and images, which are emotions. And then you stick with the sensation, feeling. And that sensation and feeling is in the present moment. And being in the present moment is oneness, when the mind isn't drifting onto something else. Anyway, thanks very much for listening.